Alright, hey everyone. In this video we will continue with two states and two assets, and we will talk about how to price contingent claims or basically any arbitrary payoff in those markets. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start our calculator and we will go into 3D. All right, because we have two states, right? So bad state, good state, and then the price, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a market. And what do we want to do for the assets? So let's do one of our assets is just putting money under our pillow, right? So in the bad state, you're going to get $1. In the good state, you're going to get $1, and it costs $1 today. Alright, so this A right here, this point at 111, that is our asset, and I'll just go ahead and do a vector through A. Okay, there's our asset. And now what's another vector? Well, I guess one thing we can do, let's just go ahead and say, well, we already have a market, and it's this, right? So we have our market here. Again, the law of one price holds. It's incomplete. It's arbitrage free. But let's go ahead and put another asset in here. How about an asset of a bet or a gamble in which you could gain one in the good state and you could lose one in the bad state, but it doesn't cost you anything. It's just like betting on a football game or something. So let's go ahead and make that asset. That's going to be 1, -1, 0. Okay. Oh, do you see what I pointed, and when I was talking, I pointed this way, but when I put it, I did it this way. So what did I do? I put $1 in the bad state and -$1 in the good state. So I just flipped that. So I'm just going to put -$1 here, and I'm going to make this positive. Okay? So that's more reasonable, right? So we get $1 in the good state, and we lose $1 in the bad state. Okay, it's going to turn out to be the same, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to do a vector through C. Okay. And we can go ahead and make our line through that. Just to, say this is the span of that asset. Okay, and now what do we want to do? We want to make a plane through these points, and that will be our whole market. Okay, through these 3 points, just like that. And voila, we have ourselves a market. Okay? And what do we want to do? Well, we said what we were going to try to do in this video is price any arbitrary claim, right? And so really all that's doing is, this is our pricing function, right? So what we should be able to do is grab some point on this domain and then find the y value there. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do that. Let's put a point, somewhere on our domain, right? So that's where D is. And then, so we can move D around all we want. Let's also go ahead and let's put in a parallel line. I like to do the parallel line, so I'm going to do parallel to the z-axis and through D. And these other lines are actually going to get a little distracting, so I'll go ahead and just hide those. Okay, so they're gone. So now we only have this one line here. And I want to make sure I've got my pointer selected. Okay, so now we can move around. And I'll actually see if I can move D, right? And I'll go ahead and put a point on that intersection there. Just like that. Okay? And so now we have a point called E, right? And so what I'll just do is I'll do Z of point E, and this right here is the price, right? Okay, and then this is the payoff in the good state, this is the payoff in the bad state, or I have that backwards. This is the payoff in the good state, this is the payoff in the bad state, and this is the price today. Okay, so we can just go ahead and move this D around. Okay, and as you can see, when D moves, the height of E above it moves with it as well. And if I move parallel along here, E isn't really changing in its height very much, right? So you can see here this 0.75. That's not going to change too much when I move D along this, right? So it's not moving too much when I come like this. But if I move perpendicular, right? That's changing a ton. So this right here, this is how we price all of these assets in the two-state, two-asset economy, okay? And I think that's really all there is to it. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Well, a couple things I'm missing are, let's say we moved C, right? Let's say we moved this asset, right? As you can see, the pricing function is based on the assets. So, if we move these around, then of course this price is moving as well because the angle of that plane is changing. I think that's all I really wanted to get to. I will go ahead and kind of tease at the next video, okay? So this is how we price, and I actually did want to say this is a complete market because we can move this all the way anywhere on here and we get a price out of it. Okay? So let's do something else, okay? I'm going to go ahead and turn off our plane, and I'm actually going to turn off some of these other assets, okay? So we're just going to have asset A, and we're just going to call it putting money under a pillow. So I'm just going to call it 111. 111. Okay? And now we'll go ahead and draw our line through it again. Line. Okay. So you'll probably remember what this is. This is the, and actually I'll turn off this vertical line here as well because that no longer applies because we don't have our plane. Okay, so D is the asset we're trying to price, right? So say this asset's getting $5 in the bad state, $1.50 in the good state, right? So we're just wondering, okay, well, if we only have one asset in our economy, it's just this one here, then can we price D? Well, no, it's an incomplete market, right? But there is one other thing we can do to price this asset. And I'll actually just go ahead and do it now, okay? So you'll probably remember when we did the thing where we teetered this up and down. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that in the next video, okay? So in the next video, we'll talk about how to price these claims in an incomplete market like this. So thank you. See you soon.